Alright guys, I wanted to make a video because this will be a little faster. The issue with the electrical line weights, it's multifaceted. One, you can see here we're in a demolition plan. We see that the electrical demo stuff is coming out purple. We see that, some of the stuff existing is, coming out with pink, that's how our settings are. We don't see the walls changing any color. So I looked at a few different items, and what it boils down to, it's in the phase settings, it's in the override settings for this demo. We have projection surfaces have their colors assigned, but the walls actually run through the cut plane. The architectural elements respond differently to view range than the MEP elements. It's just the way Revit works. So because the walls go through a cut, and we're seeing a cut representation, all I'm going to do is change these colors in here, and I'll change this in the template. But that should help quite a bit differentiate demolished and new and existing. So now our cut surfaces look the same as our projection surfaces. I'll hit OK, and you're going to see that update for demo. So that wasn't too bad. So there you go. Existing walls are pink. Demolished walls are purple architecturally, and that follows through the way we would expect. Now, the new plans is quite a bit different. And I'm going to go through the same kind of iteration I did before. New, obviously we don't have any color here because these are all new fixtures, so black and white's what we want to see, same way it prints. What I should see is these existing walls should be purple, because I've already set the override for the projection. And I can verify that this wall is existing. There we go. So after a lot of digging, I'll just cut to the chase and show you why it broke. First thing I did, I'm looking at, let me go to this copy plan instead so I can destructively test it and delete it. The first thing I did, I get rid of a few templates. So now, when previous plus new works, what if I change it to previous plus demo just to see if that filtering works? Let's see if my colors come up. I don't know if there's a setting on the wall or what. There, so that works. So there's nothing on the walls the way they're defined. There's something that's going on with this previous plus new setting. I go into the phases. I'll check my overrides. So previous plus demo, that's the one that does work. New stuff isn't displayed, correct. Existing stuff uses the override settings, which are in this tab. Demolished stuff uses the overrides, which are in this tab. So that's all good. Temporary is not displayed. Previous plus new, this is the one we're having trouble with. New stuff shown by category, black and white, great. Existing stuff showing as overridden. So that should show the same way as this shows. Demolished not displayed, temporary not displayed, as it should be for new work, previous plus new. So we already know the graphic overrides are established correctly, and we know this phase filter is saying to use the override version for the graphics. So why won't it work? Let's try a different one. Let's try previous phase. That says overridden. Let's see if that changes. Yeah, that does. So it's just this one is giving us trouble. So what I found, I made a new phase in this project. I'm going to call it test. Just to start something brand new. Just new phase filter, I'm sorry. Capital T-E-S-T. By category, overridden. The others don't really matter. I'll just leave them. Okay. I'll change to test. Now does that work? That works okay. So, alright. At this point, I have to ask myself, previous phase works, all these others work, even test works. Something's going on with this previous plus new, and I don't think it's anything mechanical. So I go into architecture. The walls, there's nothing like wall over wall. There's not like a new wall over an existing wall or anything crazy like that. It's just one object here, and it's on the correct phase. So what I found is when I went to the phase settings for new construction, I'm showing previous plus new. Aha! in the architectural model, that's set to by category rather than overridden. Now, phases work almost by their own set of rules, and I don't even know that it's documented, but I do know this. If I'm linked, which I just actually demonstrated using the test phase that I did before, there's no test in the architecture, so it just did whatever I told it to do in the host model. But because there is a matching phase in the architecture model, it's going to use what's in the definition in the architecture model to display the architectural elements. So what really needs to happen is we need to be consistent as a company, and this needs to be overridden so that it works properly for MEP as well. I'm not going to change that until we can have a talk about that, because I'm not sure if that's going to impact Ian's information and the way he displays things. What I did do, I can make another test here, and I can leave this by category: overridden, overridden, overridden. Hit apply, hit OK. I'll sync this up. I already know it's up there, so image links. Reload this guy. So now we've reloaded that model. I can change this to test, hit apply. So it's using the same phase filter. We should see everything come out. It does. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to the architecture and break that new phase filter. I didn't want to work on the live one. So here, instead of overridden, I'm going to go by category. Hit OK, just to prove that this problem is based in the architectural phase settings. So once I sync this and reload it into the electrical model, my walls are going to go back to showing as just black and white instead of the pink existing color we want to see. So now I've got it on test, new construction. All I'm going to do is reload it, and this should go to black and white because that's how the architectural, what am I doing? That's what the architectural is telling it to do. There you go. You see that it went black to black and white, so that definitely was our issue in the architectural. We'll have to clean that up as far as the standard goes, because that's having a significant impact on the MEP side. So we're going to have to find a little bit different way to manage that in the architectural, because that should be overridden. Alright, thanks guys.